Well, he's putting on a clinic.
An absolutely perfect night for baseball in Gotham, and with some of the restrictions lifted throughout the league, it's being referred to as Opening Day 2.0. Not only in Flushing, Queens, but throughout Major League Baseball. And this crowd is here to see some of the brightest stars in all the Major League landscape. Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado leading a resurgent Padres team. On the home side, Francisco Lindor starting to round into form. And the brightest star of all, Jacob deGrom, on the mound at home tonight. We welcome you to the MLB Network Showcase presented by Chevrolet tonight at Citi Field. It's the visiting San Diego Padres and the homestanding first place New York Mets. A glance at the pregame standings. It was said to be a two-horse race in the NL West on opening day, but the interlopers, the Giants, occupy the pole, a game and a half better than the Dodgers. These Padres, 10 games over 500 and 2.5 back. For the Mets in the NL East, they've held the top spot since Saturday, May 8th, and once again are a season-high 6 games above 500. With that, we welcome you inside Studio K with Jim Cott, Matt Vasgersian. Two teams, Jim, that saw one another last weekend. A 4-game series split in San Diego. They meet once again in New York tonight.
Well, and Matty, the interesting thing, because we're going to see two elite pitchers that the hitters saw last weekend. Are the pitchers going to come at them the same way, make the hitters adjust? That'll be interesting for me to see in the early part of the ball game.
One of the great matchups is between deGrom and Fernando Tatis Jr., who, despite missing about a quarter of the Padres' games this year, still deserves consideration as an early National League MVP candidate. His ranks, again, despite missing all the time, tied for second in homers. He's top 5 in RBIs, top 5 in runs scored. His stolen base total gives him a share of the league lead. He is an elite talent on display tonight.
And he can beat you in so many ways. We're going to go look at those ways. First of all, in the field, check out this play right there. Very strong arm, comes up, great footwork, one hop, throws a strike. Beats you with his glove, and of course, bat speed. He beats you with his legs. Looks like a gymnast on that play, and then again, towering home run. So it's going to be exciting to see the matchup between the best pitcher in the game right now and one of the brightest young stars.
StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Tatis is top percentile across the board in the metrics from exit velo to arm strength, starring on both sides of the scorecard. As you mentioned, he will have his hands full, as will the entire San Diego lineup tonight, against Jacob deGrom, who enters the night with a consecutive scoreless inning streak. He struck out about half the batters he's faced this year. Where do we start with deGrom?
You know, I don't know exactly where you could start because there's so many numbers, but when you look at his ERA, how the opposition hits against him, he is first in all categories. He's one of these pitchers, the path he's on, you're going to look back and tell your kids, hey, I saw this guy in person. I mean, he is becoming a Hall of Famer in discussion already in his, in his first part of his career.
7 shutout innings against the Padres in his last start back on the 5th of June. He scattered 3 hits, struck out 11, and walked 1. And as Lou Rojas told us before the game tonight, there are no restrictions on deGrom this evening. He is let loose. Take a look at the ERA, .62. I mean, we could have written volumes of notes regarding that ERA figure. Lowest in the first 9 in over 100 years. Second lowest by a Met over any 9-start stretch. 1 earned run or fewer allowed in all 9 of his starts. That's the longest such streak to open a season. Again, in over 100 years. DeGrom is must-watch TV. The third member of our broadcast crew, Fran Charles, has more from Citi Field. Fran?
All right, Matty, well, with all the success that Jacob DeGrom has had in his career, NL Rookie of the Year in 2014, finished in a World Series, two-time Cy Young Award winner, you might think at 32, the window is starting to close. But if you did, you'd be wrong. First off, he only pitched 1 year of college at Stetson University. We're going to get into that coming up a little bit later on during the game. But then also, this should be a scary thought for hitters. DeGrom says he wants to pitch for at least another decade. He was recently quoted as saying, I want to pitch into my 40s. I believe I can still compete at this level at that age. To become an inner circle Hall of Famer, I'm going to have to play that long. And we spent some time with Luis Rojas earlier today, and he said this guy's passion for the game is insatiable. Said he's the first player at the park and is always nibbling at his heels to see if he can get in and play a little shortstop. And oh, by the way, and you know this, Matty, 40's the new 20. So there's another guy, he's got a pretty good arm, still throws the ball pretty well, and he plays in Tampa Bay, and his name is Tom Brady. He's still interested in winning the ring, so why not Jacob DeGrom?
Fred, it's going to be a fun one. Jacob DeGrom against the San Diego Padres. We're back with the starting lineups in the opening pitch from Flushing, Queens. Next.